What up, guys? On my way home, gotta drive home. Hopefully, my gas tank gets me there, but I'm pretty sure it will. Let's see. Yeah, we're good. All right, so I'm pretty much out of the loop today, so I'm pretty much going to kind of depend on a couple of the people watching to kind of give some new news. But what I was able to kind of dig up a little bit earlier was that Coney Ely is supposed to be visiting the Cowboys tomorrow. Um, that's good news, I guess. He was somebody that had really good measurables at the combine a couple years ago, and he was actually slated as one of the actual, like, he was slated as raw, but one of the best rushers in the draft a couple of years ago. So I think Coney Ely was somebody that they really looked at. We got about six people on today, so uh, you guys kind of keep me updated, man, because I was out of the loop a little bit today. All I really heard was that Coney Ely's coming to visit. I saw a mailbag question as to whether or not Randy Gregory is it worth, I guess, saving the roster spot for him. What's good? What's up? What's going on? You remember Dan Woodson, right? Yeah, absolutely. Dan Woodson, probably one of my favorite Cowboys ever. Of course, I remember Dan Woodson. That's like asking if I remember who Santa Claus is. But yeah, man. Okay, let's see. You got into an argument with the dude. Said he was slow. Hell no, he wasn't slow. I want to say Darren Woodson ran about like a 4.3, but he was like a linebacker, and that was yeah. I'm pretty sure he ran a 4.3. Yeah, and I didn't even see that. I said that before I even saw your comment. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Darren Woodson was pretty fast back then. That's why he was able to convert from a linebacker to a safety. I mean, it's actually kind of weird that Darren Woodson was able to convert like that. I think that's partially why they believe they can convert guys from different positions because they got so lucky with that. That's probably why they're always trying to convert a damn safety instead of just getting a damn safety. Any new news out there, guys, that I missed or anything? Okay, let's see. Ely. Yeah, I already touched on that X Factor. Ely's visiting tomorrow. See what else we got. Yeah, I'm glad that I got a lot of input yesterday on the Dez Bryant video. It was something that I was thinking about, man. It wasn't an April Fool's joke. I really feel that way. I feel that Dez Bryant at this point, I'm on Dez's side at this point. I wasn't at first, and guys that are close to me that have looked at what I've been saying lately, or over the past couple of weeks, you guys knew that I wasn't really on the day. All right, sorry guys, it cut off for a little bit, but yeah, to go back to regular subject, Dez Bryant. I really wasn't on board with keeping him at the end of the year. I can't even front. I was really like pissed off at his performance. And then it's just a couple of different factors that just led me to what I was thinking. Like, how long are we gonna keep blaming these players? We're always gonna keep blaming these players, but never really holding the coaches accountable. And if we held the coaches accountable as much as we hold all these players that we chase out of town, maybe things would change a little bit. That was just my thought process. Or the front office. I mean, I get that Jerry's the owner and stuff like that, so he's not going anywhere. But what if he held himself accountable like they hold these players accountable when they're killing their characters? I mean, I think that things would be a little bit different, don't you guys think? Because everywhere else, GMs are getting fired, coaches are getting fired. Like, I don't get how the success or lack of success that we've really been having. Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that. If I knew how to make a post on YouTube and when I'm about to, like, shouldn't coaches, like, how come we don't add, I'm glad you said that, Chad. Thank you. How come coaches aren't asked to take pay cuts if you're going to keep them around? How come that doesn't happen? Nobody ever asked a coach to take a pay cut. Steven don't fool with Dez. Jerry straight. Yeah, Reynaldo. Yeah, I'm to the point where I believe that Steven just doesn't believe in players having their own attitudes or just like not having their own identity. So it's a little bit weird in different other in different sports like baseball or football. I mean, not football, baseball or basketball or hockey. Um, Players with identities that, or stars with identities, that's kind of encouraged. And football is not so much. Like football, you're supposed to be like I guess you're supposed to be like a soldier or whatnot. But I mean, I guess maybe it's not as encouraged unless you're a quarterback. If you're a quarterback, you can have all of them identity in your world. Like nobody really ever takes away. Nobody really ever took away Peyton's identity. And Peyton was a great. Don't get me wrong, but nobody ever sheltered what Peyton could be. You know what I mean? Like, but if you're a receiver and you're like that, then you're considered a diva. To be honest, I'm mad at there's lack of production. It's the mental. And see, here's the thing, right? And this is what Dez said, Buddy. I believe Buddy said it, right? The thing about it is, Dez, if you think about what Dez used to trip about, I think that it's often displayed or portrayed to us as Dez is tripping because he's not getting the ball. There's been a couple times where it looked like Dez is tripping and they have him mic'd up, and it's nowhere near what we think. And I believe Dez said something along the lines of, Dez and Linehan have been beefing. I believe that Dez said something along the lines of, he sees things going on in the game that they shouldn't be going on, and he's just upset at how things are going. Not necessarily him getting the ball, but how play calls, how things are being called. And I could be wrong, and I'm just paraphrasing what I believe I heard. But I think that he's tripping about the same things us as fans are tripping about. But him on the field, it looks like he's pouting. But I think that what he's really doing is saying, like, this is some bullshit. Like, this is some BS right here. Like, what we're calling, like, the way this game is being called is BS. And I think that it's being portrayed as him wanting the ball or whatnot. But if you look at it, it's never really when we're winning, when he does that or whatnot. Like, when things are going well, Dez is going well. And I guess you could say, like, you want your leaders to, be calm when things are going bad or whatnot. But I've been there as a player before where something ain't working, and you've seen it a couple times where we've blown the lead here, or we should be adjusting to this, and there's some BS going on. So, I mean, yeah, Chad, I'm with the passion if it's constructive. I think it looks worse than what it really is. And maybe I'm tripping, because I could be. Because, him and Dak said a couple things after games, being frustrated or whatnot. But I'm just saying, like, we can't be mad at Dez if he's tripping about the same things we're tripping about as fans. Because how many times have we screamed at the TV that Linehan is some trash, or that Jason Garrett is out coaching his own damn self? Like, I remember vividly, there was a game in Detroit where Dez went off and DeMarcus Ware had to go to him to try and calm him down. But I vividly remember that game because we threw the ball a million damn times when we could have ran the ball, we could have ran the clock out or whatever. And we allowed them an opportunity to have the ball back when we could have, I'm not sure. Maybe we ran the ball 3 times or whatnot. It was something stupid where we gave them the opportunity to have the ball back and they just drove it down the field to win the game. And Megatron had 300 yards. It wasn't 200 yards. I believe it was a record-setting 329 yards. And I believe people believe that Dez was tripping because he wasn't getting the ball or he wasn't having as good of a game. I think Dez was tripping. What up, Huggy? What up? And I believe that Dez was tripping because of how the game was being called or how conservative we were. Linehan wasn't even on the team. As a matter of fact, Linehan was on the winning side that day. And I think Dez was tripping about how things were being called. Like when they went to the sideline, like Dez was saying, yo, Tony, we're the best in the league at doing this right here. And it looked really, really, really bad, but it really wasn't when it was mic'd up. So I believe that was a lot of the time what's going on. Yeah, he did give up his play calling after that, Reynaldo. Yeah, and exactly, Chad. See, look, that 4th and goal, when you're talking about where we have Zeke and you throw the ball, like, I think a lot of the time he's tripping about stupid ass shit like that. But ultimately, it looks like he's being a diva. But Richard, if you go back to like Seattle, right? Seattle's Super Bowl game, and got pissed off, and a lot of us get pissed off as fans that they did that dumb play call. Like, I don't see anything wrong with. I'm not saying that he's not being coachable, but we can't get mad as fans when we trip the same way. It's called logic, in my opinion. Like, I want somebody to feel some type of way. I want them to show some emotion when something like that is dumb. And if you can try and control it as a leader, or you can at least, put a bug in somebody's ear, like, to me, that's not being uncoachable. That's not being a diva. That's having some damn sense. That's just the way that I feel about it. But, I mean, that was ultimately what I was getting at with my Des Bryant video yesterday. And a lot of you guys got it, which was cool, because for the most part, like, I think that a lot of people, for the most part, we disagree on a lot of things when it comes to the Cowboys. But with that video yesterday, if you haven't had a chance to see it, I think that there was maybe one dislike, but for the most part, everybody agreed with the same 5 points that I said. So it was pretty cool. And so let me see if we can find some other comments. See, Sutton knows how to use his arms, his body so well. He was a DB, so he's going to get better. See, what else? Who would you start at both safety positions right now? Right now, to be completely honest, I'm going with Kayvon Frazier. I'm going with Frazier, and I'm going with Woods right now with the way that the roster is. Now, that could change depending on the draft if we get some guys better in there. But to me, Jeff Heath is probably our biggest playmaker, but I would rather him focus on special teams right now and be a spot guy. That's what I would do. I think the question was, would I move up for Fitzpatrick? To be honest, what up, Jeremy? I wouldn't move up for Fitzpatrick. The only guy I'm moving up for is Derwin James right now. I believe that Fitzpatrick and Derwin James are probably on the same wavelength, but for what we need, I believe that Derwin James will fit a little bit better for what we need. That's the only guy I'm moving up for. So if you guys are like, would you move up for Ridley? Would you move up for this guy? Would you move up for that guy? Would you move up for Roquan? The answer is no. I would not move up for Roquan Smith because I believe I can get a linebacker at some point in this draft. But as far as the safety goes, there's 2 guys that are really high, but I believe that one of the guys fits our needs perfectly right off the bat. Let's see, Sutton's QB Hicks, marginal at best. The thing about Sutton is I would get Sutton depending on where you are. Depending on where you are. Like, I'm not getting Sutton at 19. I'm not getting Sutton at 50 because I believe that there are better guys at receiver. I believe there are better guys at receiver, and they're just better players and better needs that we need. Sutton is all right. Sutton, but here's the thing, right? We talk about Dez getting separation. We talk about Dez not being fast. I don't get where Sutton is different. I don't get where getting Sutton is going to make Dak Prescott all of a sudden get a little bit more accurate or better with his reads. I mean, now for me, I'm personally about, if we're going to get a new receiver, let's get somebody that's a little bit better of a route runner, that's a crisp route runner, that's quick, that can get off the line and create a little bit of quicker separation than what we really need. Now, I don't get where Sutton solved the problem that Dez couldn't. I don't believe that Sutton is a better receiver than Dez is. Still, to this day, even with Dez's production going down a little bit, Dez can still play a little bit. I just think that we're a little frustrated with him right now, that we're not taking that into account, and we're probably looking at his money. But if we're looking at it from a football aspect and you take money away from it, even though money is a part of it, I don't get where football operations-wise adding Sutton right now is that much different than Dez. All right, so let me see. What was the other question? Do I like Washington or Kirk at 50? We get Payne at round one. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I like James Washington is okay, but again, that goes back to the whole creating separation thing again. James Washington is actually probably the closest to Des Bryant as far as a comparison in his draft. Um, Probably closer than anybody. And yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that I was just talking about. Did I see Hurd's? Did I see Hurd video on Dak DMV? Nah, I didn't, man. Send it to me. If Hernandez and and Ridley, who am I going to take at 19? Of those three, based on the needs and why I think we need to get our identity back, I'm taking Hernandez. I like Vita, but Vita can get tired a little bit. And don't get me wrong, like right now for what we have, Vita probably wouldn't be a 3-down guy. But I do know that Hernandez is the every snap guy. So I think you get more value out of that. I think that the way that our line is constructed right now, Hernandez will step in right away, and he has a better chance of being the career all-pro type of guy. So as far as Ridley goes, I mean, I'm not about taking the receiver at 19 unless it just makes sense. Unless everybody that we want is gone, okay, we can take Ridley at 19. I like Ridley a lot. I love Ridley as a matter of fact. But if you got Hernandez and is all those three on the board, I'm taking Hernandez all damn day. All damn day. If all three are gone, what would I do at 19? I'll probably trade back. That's probably what I would do. There's probably some other guys that we could get, but I wouldn't reach. I would just secure another pick. Probably, even though we got 10, I probably, if all three are gone, there's got to be somebody that we want, but somebody is going to want to move up to possibly get something else. So, no, I didn't see the video on Dak. I didn't see it on Dak. So send it to me. That's what I said, X Factor. I didn't see it. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, man. It's getting closer to the draft. Do I like Evans at linebacker? I do like Evans. I like Evans a lot. I did a video on him. Go check it out. Go check out Evans. See, what about Evans at 19? Like, I would take Evans at 19 if we couldn't find a trade partner, but I believe that we could trade back a little bit and still get Evans or Vander Esch. I believe we could get those guys. And somebody will probably want to move up to 19 to get something that they missed out on, because possibly there's still a quarterback on the board. That somebody needs a quarterback. Buffalo has 2 picks in the first round. Maybe we could swap with Buffalo and get another pick somewhere later in the draft, you know? See, where do I send? Send it to my comments, man. Or you can send it to my email, dmvdallascowboys@gmail.com. One word, dmvdallascowboys@gmail.com. See, take Evans all day over LVE. Me too, dog. Me too. I would take Evans over Vander Esch. I just believe that his attitude is something that we need. We haven't had it since we had Rolando McClain. I believe that's probably, even though stats show something different from last year, I believe our defense was much better when we had Rolando McClain. Josie Jewell, 3rd, 4th round guy. I like him, and I think that he could develop into something pretty special for us. See, Hearns needs to prove he can stay healthy, something T. Will doesn't have a problem as a number 2 receiver. See, John G., would you rather have safety Rodney Harrison or safety Derwin James? I mean, if all else is equal, Derwin James all damn day. But I believe that if things go like everybody said and everybody's gone, we could probably trade back and get Rodney Harrison. I know a lot of people hate the term trade back, but sometimes it's best to do that when you don't want to reach for somebody. T. Will nickname is I'm gonna talk about Terrence Williams a little bit, guys. I'm gonna talk about Terrence Williams because Terrence Williams gets a horrible rap a lot of the time. But it's actually pretty funny about Terrence Williams because he's not that bad of a route runner. Terrence Williams runs really good routes, as a matter of fact. His only damn problem is that damn body catching, but everything else, like run after catch and all of that type of stuff, like Terrence Williams is a pretty solid receiver. And the reason that I'll say that is because Terrence Williams can go the hell off. I've seen Terrence Williams put up a 200-yard game. A lot of you guys have too, and that's not an easy feat in the NFL. Even with his body catching ass, he can go off. He can go off if you get him that rock, man. So I'm not saying that keep Terrence Williams at all. I'm not saying that or anything like that. I'm just saying that Terrence Williams sometimes, man, he can have those games where he looks like a number one. So he gets a bad rap a lot of the time, but if you look at it as a complete route runner, and a lot of people will disagree with me, but I mean the whole route tree of everything, because I believe, like a lot of people, they love Beasley, and they say Beasley this, Beasley that, Beasley's the best route runner. I think Beasley runs like a couple routes, and that's it. Terrence Williams can run every route on the tree and be sharp and concise with it. He just has a body catching problem where the separation that he does create, he nullifies it with his damn body catching instead of being able to go out and reach and go get it. Okay, let me go back and see what else we got. If Collins get pushed back inside, Fleming at right tackle, do you need Hernandez? Hell yeah, we need Hernandez, man. You guys got to think about this, right? Let's think about this with Fleming. The Patriots didn't want to pay him $2 million. $2 million is what kept him from being a Patriot. So that let me know all I needed to know. And if you guys remember from a couple years ago, what the Patriots did was they kind of had an oil change kind of line where, you know, they had this group going in and this group going in, trying to figure out who the hell could play and who the hell couldn't. Now, this guy started in the Super Bowl. And the Patriots decided $2 million wasn't worth keeping him, dog. So that let me know that Fleming probably isn't our starter if we can help it. That let me know that Collins is at right tackle right now is probably better than what Fleming is at right tackle. As much as we want Collins to go back in the guard. So I just think it'd be easier to plug and play a guard that's ready like a Wynn or Hernandez, and we would have our best 5 linemen on the field. You have 5 dogs on the field, and let's get going, you know? See what else we got. My favorite NBA basketball team is the Washington Wizards. So it's actually funny, Juan. It's the Washington Wizards. A couple years ago, man, I got tired of following players because I've always been a Jordan fan. I've been a Kobe fan. Like, those are my guys. And I decided I was tired of following players because the LeBron love fest is crazy. So I was like, you know what? I'm tired of following players. And they go here, they go there, and I just look like a big D rider. So I decided that I was just going to come home to every other team but the Cowboys. So I'm in the Washington, D.C. area. I like the Caps. I love the Nets. Everybody but them punk-ass Redskins. I love everybody but the punk-ass Redskins in this area. So that's a funny question. I'm sorry to go off tangent, not talk football. Let's go back to some football. We need a dominant one tech. Yeah, we need a dominant one tech. I agree. But you know the really good teams, you know what they do with one techniques? They don't necessarily draft them. But you see a lot of guys move on from different teams like Snacks. Remember Pat Williams from a couple years ago? A lot of those guys, you can just sign them to short-term deals, like 1 year, $5 million or whatever. And you can just plug them in as a one technique. And we just don't do that for some odd reason. We like to we like to have, I guess we like to draft guys, or we like to keep David Irvin's skinny ass in at the one technique, which I never understood. When David Irvin, when DeMarcus Lawrence was hurt a couple years ago, and they put David Irvin at defensive end, that man killed. Like, he was unblockable at defensive end. And I never understood why they play him inside. Or they never put him at the 3 technique. They would put him at 1 and keep Tyrone Crawford's vanilla ice cream ass at the 3 technique, not doing the damn thing. So I never really understood that. Let's see. Will Randy Gregory do more puff passing or pass rushing this season? Um, I gotta go with what history tells me, man. He's probably gonna do more passing until I see otherwise. Till I see otherwise, I gotta go with the puff passing. We always got to go into a season kind of preparing for the worst with that guy. But if he's on the team, it's a plus because when he's on the field, man, the dude can play. He has a lot of energy. He plays with a high motor. So I love him on the field, but when he's off the field, man, we can't do nothing with him. But I do think he's worth keeping a roster spot for if they can reinstate him because the man can play some football. He's only a bust because he's not on the field, but when he's on the field, the guy can play. Who's our number one corner, Uze or Byron? Shit, I don't know, man. I like Jordan Lewis. Might be Jordan Lewis. Because Byron, we got to see Byron play corner again. And we don't even know. Look, there's going to be competition there because, look, Byron's on a contract year, so they're not even guaranteed. They don't even have to play Byron. If Byron can't beat those guys out, they're not on the hook. They're not on the hook for that much more money. Byron's still on the rookie contract. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Byron's going over there, but if he can't outplay either one of those guys, Byron going to find himself on the bench. So it is what it is. I really like Lewis, though. I think Lewis has a lot of potential. Lewis competes really well out there. And from what I saw, Byron at the corner his rookie year, that's all I can really go by. I think that Lewis was a little bit better than what Byron was. Let's see what else we got. Why Crawford not asked to take a pay cut? A lot less than. See, all right. So I'm gonna touch on Okoye's media video on Byron playing corner. All right. So I'm gonna also touch on. Damn, what was that question? Because Crawford. Oh, the reason that they're not asking Crawford to take a pay cut, probably the same reason that they're not asking Dez or they're not restructuring Crawford or they're not restructuring Dez. It's because I believe they're setting themselves up because if they draft somebody that they want, they can cut those guys and save a lot more on the cap. That's why I believe they haven't touched either one of those guys' contract. Same thing with Beasley. They didn't ask Beasley to get an extension or nothing like that. Those guys' contracts are staying where they are because I believe that they're probably setting up things to move one of those guys or to trade them or whatnot. They're not going to trade Crawford. Don't nobody want Crawford as. But somebody might want Beasley or somebody might want Dez. And if you keep the contract the way it is, you can save some money. See, what's good, DMV? Will Hernandez, Connor Williams, or Isaiah Wynn in the first round? I'm a Hernandez guy myself, so I'm going to go with Hernandez, but I love Connor Williams. If they drafted Connor Williams at 19 and decided to kick him in at guard, I would not be pissed off, guys. I would not be pissed off. I did a video on Connor Williams a while ago. I think that the sky's the limit for that guy, man. We was talking the same way about D-Law last offseason. Byron could ball out at corner and get franchise tagged again next season. But you know what, though, man? I'm so sick of that. That's the thing about our draft guys. Like, they decide to ball out their contract year, and this is what happens to us. We pay them big-ass money for 1 year, or we franchise them for that 1 year, and we get stuck on the hook for that. Well, if we franchise him, guess what the top corner money is in this league? You franchise him, you got to get real creative again. You got to get real creative again on what you're going to do with the cap, and that's how we always get stuck. I'm not mad at franchising D-Law. I'm not mad at that at all. But at this point, we got 10 picks this year, guys. We need to draft a safety, or we need to draft another corner or something like that to maybe replace Byron. Because to be honest, man, we got these young guys in here. We got a Woozy, we got Lewis. I really can't stand. Anthony Brown. I'm gonna give him one more shot, man, because he had a really good rookie year. He had a pretty solid rookie year. So they say in your third year, you don't find out what a guy's made of until your third year. So we're gonna find out what Anthony Brown is made of. But he can play the slot a little bit. A Woozy can play the slot. So we'll see. Right now they're cheaper. and they're offering you some solid play. So I mean, you kind of got to, if we're going to talk about business, Byron needs to be a part of that business talk as well. And this is a contract year for him. And then I'll probably go live a little bit later because we had a really good discussion today, and I really like these Q&A sessions, guys. But I appreciate it, and make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell for the rest of the videos and all of that stuff, man. And shit, we had about 20 something people on today, so that was pretty cool, man. All right, guys. Peace. And you know what, guys? You can direct some questions to my DMV Dallas Cowboys at Gmail too. So maybe I'll do a mailbag session too, answer some questions a little bit later. All right, guys. Peace.